Hello, how are you?
Hey Wakas, what's new?
I want to make conversation with you after a while. Are you ready?
Yep, absolutely. What's on your mind?
Okay, my first question is that
So,
what does self-compassion really mean and how is it different from self-pity or selfishness?
good question. Self compassion is often misunderstood. It's really about treating yourself with the same kindness, care, and understanding you'd offer a good friend, especially when you're struggling. It's different from self pity because self pity dwells on your suffering and feels isolating. Poor me. Self compassion acknowledges the suffering but recognizes it's part of the human experience and connects you to others. And it's definitely not selfishness. Selfishness is about prioritizing yourself at the expense of others, while self compassion allows you to be kind to yourself so you can be kinder to others. Does that distinction make sense?
Why is it important to treat yourself with the same kindness you offer to others?
That's a solid question. I think it comes down to this: if you consistently beat yourself up, it erodes your resilience. It makes it harder to take risks, learn from mistakes, and generally navigate life's challenges. Plus, it's kind of exhausting. When you're kind to yourself, you create a safe inner space for growth. It allows you to acknowledge your imperfections without letting them define you. And honestly, you deserve that same level of care. What do you think? Does that resonate with you?
Yes, what signs indicate that you are being too hard on yourself?
Good question. A few things usually jump out. Constant self criticism is a big one. That inner voice that's always putting you down. Also, perfectionism, setting impossibly high standards and then feeling like a failure when you don't meet them. Difficulty accepting compliments or dismissing them as insincere is another sign. And often, people who are too hard on themselves struggle to ask for help because they feel like they should be able to handle everything on their own. Any of those sound familiar?
Okay, how can acknowledging your mistakes help you grow instead of holding you back?
Okay, now we're getting into the really good stuff. See, mistakes are basically free lessons. When you acknowledge them, truly own them, you move from a place of shame to a place of curiosity. Instead of thinking, I'm a failure, you can ask, what can I learn from this? It's about reframing failure not as an endpoint, but as data. Like, okay, that didn't work. What do I need to adjust? That's where real growth happens. Holding on to the guilt just keeps you stuck.
Okay,
What's one mistake you've made recently that you've been able to learn from? No pressure to share if you're not comfortable, of course.
what are some practical ways to develop gentler inner voice?
Right. So, taming that inner critic. There are a bunch of things people find helpful. One is something called self compassion breaks. When you're feeling down, you literally pause, put a hand on your heart, and say something kind to yourself like, this is a moment of suffering, or may I be kind to myself. Another is mindful self compassion meditation, which is guided and helps you practice sending kindness to yourself. And it sounds simple, but just paying attention to your self talk can be huge. When you catch yourself being harsh, challenge it. Ask yourself, would I say this to a friend? It takes practice,
How can
but it really can make.
how can mindfulness help you understand and accept your emotions without judging them?
That's a really insightful question. Mindfulness is essentially about paying attention to the present moment without getting carried away by your thoughts or feelings. When an emotion arises, instead of immediately reacting or labeling it as good or bad, you simply notice it. You observe the physical sensations, maybe a tightness in your chest, a warmth in your face, and acknowledge the feeling is there without trying to push it away or cling to it. It's like watching clouds drift by in the sky. You see them, you acknowledge they're there, but you don't get swept away by them.
Okay,
The more you practice that,
why is forgiving yourself an essential step in emotional healing?
gotcha. Sorry about that interruption. The transcription can be a little wonky sometimes. You were saying mindfulness is an essential step in emotional healing? I completely agree. It gives you the space to actually see what's going on inside without getting overwhelmed by it. It's like you can't heal what you're not aware of. Does that feel right to you?
What negative beliefs commonly prevent people from practicing self compassion?
Ooh, good one. There are a few big ones. A lot of people believe that self compassion is selfish, like it means letting yourself off the hook or excusing bad behavior. Another common one is the belief that you have to earn self compassion, that you only deserve kindness when you've achieved something or are good enough. Also, some folks feel that acknowledging their suffering is a sign of weakness. And then there's the fear that if you're too kind to yourself, you'll become complacent and lose motivation.
Okay, how can
It's interesting how many barriers we put up.
how
Have
can
you been thinking about how you?
how can journaling help in processing guilt, shame, or past mistakes?
Okay, so journaling to process, um, forgive my transcription glitch, was that Goldshim or perhaps guilt and past mistakes? Assuming it's guilt, journaling can be super powerful. It allows you to externalize those thoughts and feelings. Just getting them out of your head and onto paper can provide some relief. It's a safe space to explore those mistakes without judgment. You can examine what happened, what you learned, and how you might do things differently in the future. It's not about wallowing, it's about understanding. Do you journal currently, or have you tried it before?
Okay, what role does self awareness play in breaking the cycle of self criticism?
Self awareness is absolutely key. It's like hitting the pause button on that automatic negative loop. When you're self aware, you start to notice when you're being self critical. You recognize the trigger, what situation or thought started it. You become aware of the specific patterns of your self talk. Like, do you always focus on your flaws or catastrophize things? Once you have that awareness, you can start to challenge those thoughts and interrupt the cycle. It doesn't happen overnight, but that first step, noticing, is huge.
How
Do you find you're
okay,
generally aware of your self talk, or is it something you're still working on?
okay,
All right,
how can
just
you
letting me know you're still there.
how can you balance
Ah,
accountability with kindness towards yourself?
that's the $1 million question, isn't it? It's a delicate balance. Accountability is about owning your actions and taking responsibility for their consequences. Kindness is about recognizing that you're human and everyone makes mistakes. The key is to separate the action from your inherent worth. You can acknowledge that you made a mistake and commit to doing better next time without beating yourself up and believing you're a terrible person. It's like saying, I messed up and I'm going to learn from this instead of I'm a failure and I always mess things up. Does that make sense? What does accountability look like to you personally?
What techniques can help you replace self criticism with constructive self talk? Sorry.
Good question. Apologies, I didn't quite catch that last word. Did you mean self talk? I think you were asking about techniques to replace self criticism with constructive self talk.
Yes.
Okay, so shifting from harsh critic to supportive coach. One technique is to reframe your self criticism. When you catch yourself thinking something negative, try to rephrase it in a more compassionate and objective way. Instead of, I'm so stupid for making that mistake, try, okay, that wasn't my best work, but I can learn from it and do better next time. Another is to focus on your strengths. Make a list of things you're good at and review it when you're feeling down.
Okay,
And
I
it's also
have,
about
I have,
talking to yourself like you would.
I have got the point.
Uh,
Thank you very much. Okay, goodbye.